Morning, everybody. Happy Fog Day. Um, I just wanted to let you guys know that the test is still going to be tomorrow. That's Friday, February the 20th. I know I wanted to see you guys and help you with some review before that test, but we can't push it back any further. So that test will be tomorrow. That is February the 20th. Some of your options for reviewing this stuff on your own is you've got the handout for the motion graphs practice. That's what I have for review for you, which is posted on Google Classroom. And if you scroll down, there are answers to these problems. Now, these aren't answers generated by me. They're computer generated answers. So I don't think there's a lot of mistakes on them, but I know there's at least one mistake. Somewhere in question one, somebody pointed out recently. If you would prefer to watch me go through some of those review questions, you could watch this video that I posted as recently as September 19th, 2017 at 10:30 a.m. You might see or hear at least a younger version of me, almost 10 years younger. So that'll be that. And like there are a few questions that we don't here. Let me actually open this up in Word. There's a few things that you'll find that we didn't cover in the course. And just know that I'm not going to test you on anything that we did not cover. So what's an example of that? Let me find something. Average velocity from a velocity time graph. I never showed you how to do that. I'm not going to ask you to do anything I didn't show you how to do. Things like having to do any sort of areas or accelerations from a curve on a velocity time graph, I wouldn't do that either to you. So if there's a good chance if you see it and we had never done it before, then you're not going to be asked to do it. But a lot of these questions are good. So you can work on them on your own and and look at the answers. But like I said, if you would prefer to kind of watch a younger version of me go through it, then you have that option available to you as well. How do I get off this? There it is. And that's that video link right there. The only other thing I wanted to cover before I let you go is just kind of what's the format of the test going to be. So the test has, I believe, 4 pages. All right, 4 pages. So let's draw those 4 pages. 4 pages, 4 pages. So the first page may or may not have a front and back. I think it's just front. And I'm just going to say that it has approximately 20 multiple choice questions. That includes a couple of matching questions too. So to prepare yourself for that, I really encourage you to read over your summary notes on position time graphs and velocity time graphs. There's a lot of which object is going faster, which one finishes first, that sort of thing. So which one's accelerating, which one's not accelerating. And I'm going to actually put this here because I don't always say it during class. There's some questions that say, which of the following graphs demonstrates uniform motion? And uniform motion just means a constant velocity. All right, so constant velocity on a position time graph looks like this. Constant velocity on a velocity time graph might look like that. It's got to be just a straight horizontal line. So uniform motion is a term used often in physics textbooks, and I've gotten these questions for you from a variety of sources. So just so you know what that means. I can answer that some people ask me that during the test, and I answer too. What's uniform motion mean? I tell them it means a constant velocity. Page 2, and I don't know the order that these next two go, but one of them is going to be some sort of position time graph to analyze. I don't know what it's all going to do. But it's going to be a position time graph. That much I can promise you. Hold on one moment. And you'll have a bunch of questions about it, like an A, B, C, D, E kind of thing. And that's basically doing those practice questions is really prepping you for a question like that. One of the next pages is going to be a velocity time graph. Same thing. You're going to have to analyze it to answer some questions about it again, like an A, B, C, D, E thing. And then finally, you've got your ticker tape question. Well, actually, I'll call it ticker timer because I don't actually give you a tape that you have to measure. You're going to get your 5 columns that you normally get, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, where you've got your total time, your interval time, your interval distance, and your total distance, and then finally your velocity. All right, this column will be filled out for you, and you're expected to know how to fill out the rest. That's why you're not going to hand in your lab till tomorrow. Look over what you did. If you weren't there for the lab, make sure you get somebody's data and make sure you understand how to fill out that table. The questions for this, I know what part A is going to say. It's going to say graph the position time graph. B is going to say the velocity time graph, and then you may be asked, not maybe, you will be asked a couple of questions about each of those graphs. So it's not a very time-consuming test. If I forget to tell you tomorrow, my advice to you is to go through it pretty quickly and then go back and make sure you did it all right, especially the multiple choice.